and welcome to Mindful Sunday Afternoon Yoga. We'll take a moment to arrive on your mat, coming back to your breath. Just bringing mind, body, and spirit into the same place. Allowing all that is happening outside of us in this moment to continue to happen. Recognizing our sphere of influence and really our responsibility to ourselves. Taking in a big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just let yourself soften and relax into this moment in time, which for many feels chaotic, and recognizing that we can find steadiness within. The ability to ground and center, no matter the swirl around us. And my invitation today is this idea of allowing what is, accepting, embracing, and being adaptable, recognizing that even if all the things could be okay, even if whatever happens, we'll know what to do. Can we trust that we will be okay even if? Our brains tend to go to the negative and tend to catastrophize and focus on all that's wrong. And almost always, in the end, things are okay. And if they're not okay, it's not the end. But as I mentioned, I have been learning much from my creek, which is now a beautiful, sparkling February creek, making lovely babbling sounds, being kind and loving. And in storms, my creek is not that. It has lots of powerful, swirling, chaotic energy. And I have been learning to let a creek be a creek and let a creek do what a creek does in storms. And leaning into the even if it looks angry, it will calm, it will settle. And most of us in our world like to control the chaos and control the energy and control all the things out there that are very much out of our control. And the invitation of today is to focus on you, coming back to yourself and noticing you can find tremendous calm if you wish, even if things around you are swirly and chaotic and messy and dirty. That inevitably they settle. And our work as humans is to be adaptable and flexible and allow. Doesn't mean we like it. Noticing what's in our control and what we would like to pay attention to, and where we can let things go and let them be. And remember that in the end, things settle. They calm, they quiet. And very often the turbulence is needed. It's needed for change, and it's needed for something new. And could we turn our brain simply to the turbulence and enjoy it? Or if we can't enjoy it, allow it, recognizing that it's alchemy, it's things happening, maybe not according to our plan, but that in the end, things will resettle. They will become a babbling brook again that's clear and comforting. Letting the lessons from that creek be a helpful lesson for this moment in time. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And this class is my usual Super Bowl Sunday afternoon yoga, offered as a quiet alternative, as a calm alternative, as an alternative that feels amazing to you. Breathing in once again through your nose, nourishing yourself, taking that pause and taking the time for you, and letting it out. And notice as you breathe in once more how it feels and how you feel as you breathe out. And we'll bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, connecting to our humanness and our incredible ability as humans to be adaptable, to solve complex problems, and to survive and ultimately rebirth, thrive, all of the things on the other side of the chaos and the storms and the swirl. Sending ourselves compassion for that initial resistance and frustration and worry and fear. Of course, we feel that way. And just as creeks settle after the storm, the water becomes clear and kind and friendly. Worlds settle after the storm. And noticing how you can find stillness and safety, even in this moment, when you connect within and when you go within. And while many around you may be Super Bowl watching and cheering and lots of energy going by, you can sit on your mat, close your eyes, bring your hand to heart, your sit bones connected to the earth, and find quiet, and find stillness, and find calm and steadiness. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we'll bring our hands together, creating a little bit of heat and a little bit of energy. Bring your thumbs to your sternum, fingers reach to the sky. Take a moment to check in. Thumbs together, hands pressing together, each finger pad connecting with the other, connecting to your sternum and your heart space. What is it that you need or want to settle yourself in this moment before the clarity, before the calm, before the settling and the stillness? What is it you need to move through the churn, through the murky waters and the silt, through the noise that often feels like a jet engine? Rushing water feels like a jet engine, and perhaps our world feels a bit like a jet engine right now. And yet we can find this stillness within. What is it that you need? Let your heart tell you, offer it up, and consider how you might, what might you be able to do? Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, set that intention, whatever it might be, and we'll lower our hands and open our eyes, bringing it with us. Bring your hands down by your sides, and you'll reach them up to the sky, have a little shimmy, root downward, and grow taller. We'll drop the left hand to the earth or the bolster if you're sitting on one. Spread your fingers wide, root your right hip down, and enjoy a bit of a stretch, an opening. Huge breath in, filling yourself with breath to help you feel buoyant. And exhale, gaze over the right shoulder and blow it out if that's okay for your neck. If it's not, opt out. In all of my classes, opt out of anything that doesn't work for your body. It's on you to know your body. Inhale and switch over to the other side as you exhale. Plant your right hand, root your left hip, and stretch. Let it feel good. Practice kindness amidst the storms, amidst the rushing waters. Noticing how all is actually well, even though there's a lot of noise. That this is a process. Trust the process. Trust that in times in history, there has been lots of tumultuousness, wild, energetic, and things shift and inevitably settle. Press into your right hand and reach up to the sky. You'll interlace your fingers, Have another shimmy, slight arch back, and we'll round forward, enjoying a delicious stretch. Reach your palms forward, crown of your head forward, and let your back feel amazing. Inhale, reach up once again, slight arch back. Exhale, round forward, suck your belly all the way back. Let it feel really good. And once more, reach up. Open your arms out to the sides, draw them back a little bit. Your heart is shining forward. Lower your hands like a snow angel and reach them up to the sky. Just cleaning your windows, enjoying your space. Maybe close your eyes. Notice how this feels on your arms and your chest. Lower your arms to shoulder height. And we will give ourselves a huge hug, wrapping one arm around the other. Let it feel good. Maybe have a rock and a twist. See what your back needs and let it feel good. Treating yourself with kindness for however you feel. If you feel unsettled or tense, squeezing tight, pause in stillness, untangle, press your hands into the sidewalls or into space, pinch your scapula and release. And wrap your arms in the opposite direction and have a rocking yourself as if maybe you're a baby. Feels good. And when you feel complete, opening arms once again, lower them down, pinch your shoulders up, massage your occiput, allowing yourself to drop into your body and just feel whatever you feel. You may want to pinch your shoulders, pinch your scapula, drop your chin, drop your shoulders, drop your chin, and pause. Let it settle. Come back to the breath. Letting the rushing waters of whatever's going on in the world, in your life, whether it's your medical system or your creek or your politics, letting them rush on past. Potentially dropping what you'd like into the river, creek, and letting it go downstream. Recognizing that it's always headed downstream. The power and the energy is moving forward, moving towards something. And we don't usually know what. We'd like to know, we'd like to control it. Slowly lift your chin up to your chest and open your eyes, and you'll stretch your legs long and have a little bang. If you are atop a bolster or a block, tilt yourself forward towards the front and you'll slide your hands down your legs towards your shins and enjoy a release in the back of the legs. I have done a lot of yoga this weekend as part of the retreat I was leading, and I went on a hike today. So this yoga is going to be the yoga that my body needs after a hike, and doing yoga 4 times in the last 48 hours. It feels amazing, and my body feels very different, and allowing it to be just what it is. Breathing in through your nose, filling your chest up with breath, letting it run all the way down the backs of your legs into that energy, noticing things move. Huge breath in and out. Slide your hands a little bit farther towards your ankles and release your head, surrendering to the energetic shifts. And take a listen to your environment. Notice what you hear. Notice if you smell anything. Notice what you feel. And you'll slowly slide up your knees to your thighs. And if you are on a bolster or a block, come off and lower your hips to the floor. And we'll bring the soles of our feet together, knees apart, come into butterfly pose and have a rock on your sit bones. Play with it a little bit and flap your butterfly wings. Enjoy your inner thighs. Notice your arms and wrap them around your chest with kindness. Grow tall, reach the crown of your head to the sky. And if you have room, hug your ankles a little bit farther towards you, lower your knees and let it feel amazing. Big breath in. And a huge, long, smooth breath out. And once more, big breath in. Press your knees towards the floor, a little bit of energy shifts, pushing down. Maybe it feels a little stressful. Exhale, release, and soften. And we will stretch our legs long, and you're going to bend your right knee and hug it in towards you. Shin coming close to you. Pick up your knee, and you'll rock a little bit. Find your ischial spine, sit up nice and tall, move your belly around, hug that knee in so your hip releases. You'll bring your left hand to the outer edge of the right foot and stretch it long. Enjoy your IT band here. If you have room, you can turn the sole of your foot one way and the other. If you have room, twist to the right, grow tall in your spine, sit right up top the sit bones, tippy top, breathing in, growing tall. Exhale, gaze over the right shoulder. Let it feel amazing. One more breath here. Twist our spine lengtheners. Enjoy the spine growing taller. And exhale, release, and let it go. Noticing that that tension and energy can release. You're going to bring your right foot into the crook of the left elbow, and we're going to come into rock the baby. Wrap your right arm around, and you'll clasp your hands in the front, and you'll have a lovely hip stretch. A bit of tension here, all of that held tension as you're trying to potentially control things out of your control, whether they be rushing water, politics, other people, all the things. Let it feel absolutely amazing. Just like you gave yourself a hug, you're rocking your leg, cradling it. Let it feel good. And notice that as it feels good, there's some tension. Can you allow it? Can you soften into it? And you will release your foot, stretch it alongside the other, and take a moment. Once again, find your sit bones, hug your knee in, hands come to the shin, hug it in, move your belly, let your hip release. Find your sit bones, sit up nice and tall, grow the spine and the crown of the head to the sky. Right hand will come to the outer edge of the left foot, and you'll stretch it long, sending love to your IT band. Noticing the tension. Take in a big breath, grow tall. Exhale, twist to the left and breathe out. Enjoy it. Once again, grow tall, tall, tall. Exhale, release, and let it out. One more breath here. You will come back to center, bend your knee. You'll put your left foot into the crook of your right elbow and rock the baby on this side. And notice if something here is unhappy, be kind to it. My ankle still hurts from my fall down the stairs in October. And so I modify, and that's okay. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Just taking the time, gifting yourself the time, just like the creek takes the time it takes to settle down, and the world takes the time it takes to settle down. In the end, things heal. They don't go back to the way they were, but they're still beautiful. Gently release your foot and let it come alongside the other. And we'll sweep our knees around and come to hands and knees, making a beautiful tabletop. Find your belly, find your center. You're going to stretch your right leg long and lift it up to a little below hip height. Engage your glutes, find your belly button. Take a big breath in, and if it would feel good, reach that left arm long. Coming into this precarious balance, using your strength here to resist tipping, and see if you can soften in and allow and adapt. Let it be. Find your steadiness amidst the opposing forces. Huge breath in. Exhale, bring your knee to nose. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, bring that knee to nose. Inhale, stretch long, elbow to knee, sorry. but your nose can come down too. And once more, curling under and stretching long. Roll your ankle, roll your wrists. You may be noticing some tension building. Lower your left hand and your right knee. Have a little rock, be kind. And we'll switch sides. You'll stretch your left leg long. Find steady. Inhale, raise your left foot a little below hip height, no arching here. And notice if your back is unhappy, you can keep it on the floor, no judgment. When you feel ready, reach your right arm long and enjoy the lengthening. And notice these tiny micro movements that get you maybe off balance. And noticing things you are telling yourself or noticing or letting you get off balance when they're really products of nature or things well beyond you. Where do you find your balance? Where do you find your center? Where do you let things just wash over you? Bring elbow to knee, stretch long. Elbow to knee, stretch long. And once more, elbow to knee. And we'll stretch long gracefully, letting the wobbles be graceful. And you'll lower your hand and your knee, knees apart, toes together. Come back to child's pose. Forehead will hopefully come to the floor or a block. Widen your knees as wide as you need. Toes will come together and sink your hips back. Stretch your hands forward and let it feel really good. Remembering it's okay to feel joy even as we work for better, even amidst the storm and the chaos. Remembering we can allow things to be as they are. We can allow the creeks to be wild, to embrace the water, the swell, knowing that the stillness will come again. The waters will slow, they'll become clear and tinkly. Taking an extra moment here, honoring the energy of the world today, letting yourself find that peace and calm, and allow the pleasure. Let the breath enhance the pleasure, sending it wherever it might need to go. If there are any tight spots, adjust and wiggle. And we'll walk our hands over to the left side. Right hand will come atop the left. You'll root your right hip back and your right fingers forward and open up the entire left side body. Let it feel amazing. Huge breath in and out. We will walk to the other side. Left hand atop right. Enjoy the entire left side body. Let it feel amazing. Filling every nook and cranny with breath, caring for you as all the energy outside you can swirl all at once. You can let it go, let it flow. Trusting that its turbulence is doing something needed, moving energy, potentially even moving bad things away, making room for a new way. And it doesn't have to be a bad way, it could be a new good way. We don't know. Recognizing all of these forces out there, letting them be, choosing how we would like to respond, what we would like to do. And asking yourself that question here in child's pose as you come back to center. Your heart tucked in there where no one can see. What is the next step forward? What would feel good for you? How might you find calm and stillness and settle amidst the stormy waters?
how can you accept and allow the water to be rough and powerful? That's what happens when there are storms. We'll slowly bring our hands back and come up to hands and knees. Take a minute to transition. Find steady. We were in child's pose a bit longer than usual. You'll walk your hands forward and lift up to downward dog. Enjoy a spine stretch. Let your dog walk. Release any tension. And upside down, check between your legs. Upside down, you have a different perspective on things. Let your old ideas about how things are supposed to be go and honor how they are in this moment. They may be turbulence, and that may be in service of something else. Of course, they're turbulent because that's what happens sometimes. Bend your left knee, press your right leg down, heel down, and enjoy the energy shift in the right leg. Lots of twanginess, let it move. Try not to resist it. And switch sides. Right knee bends, left heel comes down, and enjoy the energy shift here. Come back to center. Lift up as high as you can on your tippy toes. Lower your heels down and let that energy shift. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet and come into a forward fold. Grasp your elbows and sway. You can take a look between your legs. See what you see. Let it feel really good. And notice your center here. Find center. Even as you shift your weight, you can find the center. Lower hands and we'll roll up to stand. Standing tall, let the blood flow, pour down. Let it come to your fingers and your toes, no rush. Enjoying that steadiness. And take a moment here to close eyes and envision that storm just pouring past you in the water. Let yourself toss things in that you might like to let go, that are weighing you down. Recognizing that it is taking all the debris from the mountains down that current, and you can throw a few things in, send them downstream. And I like to take a moment and think that that is out of our control. And so stopping that is useless. But what do you want to do? Do you want to sit by the fire with a cup of tea? What would that look like in the world today? Learning from the creeks and how they shift and change, and what we can control is how we think about them. We can appreciate what they're moving, the energy, the fact that we have water. A few years ago, we had no water in California. Now we have too much. Imagine that. Taking in a big breath, pouring in all the breath down through your chest, all the way down to your toes. And exhale, let it out, let it feel good. And open eyes, shake things out. If there's any tightness, and we're going to come into tree pose. Lifting up all 10 toes, root them downward. Let your left leg be your tree. Extend your right. Bring hands to heart. And you'll slide your right foot up to your calf or your inner thigh, you choose. Potentially draw your knee back and find steady. My creek has all kinds of trees right on the tree bank. And right now, they're very peaceful, glistening in the sunlight. It's gorgeous. And a few days ago, we had a lot of rain and they were getting quite wet with a constant barrage of water. Let this tree be steady in both, recognizing that both is part of being a creekside tree. And being in the world today and maybe 6 months ago is part of being creekside human. Reaching your arms up if you wish, finding steadiness even in the tips. You can bring your arms out to the side if that feels good. Decide where you'd like your branches to be. They may be irregular. And you'll bring your hands back to heart center, finding the balance, the steadiness, the energy of your heart, always there, coming with you. Draw your knee forward and lower it down, shake it out. Notice that tension in the left leg, sorry. Roll it out, let it feel good. And we'll plant our right tree trunk downward. Lift up your 5 toes, send your roots downward. Draw up the earth's energy through the right trunk, and you'll kickstand your left foot. And pause here, enjoy it. Let it feel good. Noticing potentially the swirl around you. If you close your eyes, is there a swirl? Is there the din of a TV maybe somewhere in your house? Reach your branches up to the sky if you wish. Wiggle fingers, let it feel really good. Roll your wrists maybe. Bring your arms out to the side maybe. And bring them back to heart center. Pause here. Press the thumbs into your sternum. Huge breath in. Draw the knee to the front and release and let it go. Noticing all this tension, let it shake, silt down through you. Noticing you can move the tension and let it go. And we will come to dancer pose, knowing that our legs will be tired and that sometimes we have to do the energy. The energy is what the good stuff comes after the energy, after it settles. You will send your left leg down, lifting up your toes, sending the roots down. Bend your right knee up to hip height. Hands can come to your hips for balance or heart center. Find even right here. And you'll slide your right hand over the right thigh, down the shin, bring your heel to your rear end, sorry. And reach your left arm up. This might be your dancer pose, or you may wish to tip forward. Dancing in the rain and the storms, have a little fun, play with it. Enjoy the front of the right thigh. Press your foot into your hand if you can. And when you feel complete, rise up and lower things down. Release, shake it out. Notice the left leg working hard. Let it go. That alchemy of working hard, and then it feels really good. The energy to push, and then you feel better. Right toes lift up, send them downward. Raise your left knee. Hands to hips or hand to heart. Pause here for a moment. Find steady. Remembering that transition is key. Slide your left hand over the left leg, bring your heel to your rear end and find steady here. Notice if your hips are wonky, even them out. Taking your time, going inward, even if there are all kinds of unsteady forces coming from the outside. Reach that right arm up, coming into a beautiful dancer pose, and fold forward and enjoy the dance. Maybe bend your right knee a little bit or not. Kick your foot into your hand, enjoy a stretch in the thigh, let it feel amazing. And we'll come back upright. Release your hands and shake it out. Roll your shoulders. Let things feel quite good. We're going to come down to broken toe with this idea of releasing and holding things tight. You'll come up onto your knees. Most of you who've joined me before will know this one, and you'll untuck all your toes. It's never anyone's favorite, and then it feels really good. And this alchemy and pressure and tension and force of the water and of all these crazy things outside our control right now, it's doing something. It creates shift. You'll lower your rear end towards your heels, and there'll be a lot of pressure in the toes. Enjoy a rock, a shift. Let it feel quite good. Huge breath in and out. Another big breath in and out. And we'll come to hands and knees and bang your feet, sending the energy away letting go of any resistance. Just, you can even have a temper tantrum if you wish. Come to stillness. Close eyes and notice. Notice the energy shifting. Allowing it. It's doing the settling, the clearing. And take a moment here to notice how you feel. From here, sweep your feet around, and we're going to come to lie down on your back. Knees can be bent to start. Allow the earth here to hold you. Notice the shifts in the tingles from being upright. And perhaps rock side to side. Let your sacrum land flat. Let yourself feel steady. Let your palms face down and feel good. Notice the backs of your scapula and shoulders on the floor, your occiput on the floor. Letting the tingles tingle. How creative, my language. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a massage. 7 times. That's the best alternative. Let it feel good here. Don't resist the pleasure. Go all the way to the edge. Enjoy that self-massage. Come into happy baby. Your feet will reach the sky, knees apart. Press those knees down as far as you can. Get some opening in the pelvis and let your back release here. Staying here a little bit longer. Notice the soles of your feet. Let them point to the sky. Straight one knee. Enjoy the back of the leg. Bend it. Straight the other. And bend it. If you can, try straightening both because it's fun. There's a lot of tension here. Let the tension be. And bend your knees and let it release and melt. Bring the soles of your feet together. Press your heels towards your groin and enjoy the inner thigh here for a moment. Noticing shifting energies. Breathe long and deep. Release your hands, lower your feet. You're going to bring your hands down by your sides. We're going to come into a bridge pose. Plant your palms on the floor, bring heels towards your rear end, and you'll lift your hips up, shimmy your shoulders under, and enjoy a release in the back. Lifting your hips as high as you can. High, high, high. Engage your glutes, reach the fronts of your hips up like stoplights. And notice here if your throat feels squenchy or anything that feels kind of angry and squenchy. Noticing that that angry energy does something when we undo it. Lift up onto both tippy toes if you can, reaching your hips higher. Lower them down. Lift up onto you're on your heels, your toes will lift up. Reach your hips up as high as you can. Lots of energy shifting. Lower your toes. Lift your hips up a little bit more. Engage those glutes. Slowly untuck your shoulders and lower down. As you arrive, let the dust and the churn settle. Letting the calm come back. Noticing it always does. Eventually. Enjoy for a moment. Bring your knees together, toes, feet apart, so the outer edge of your feet is lined up with your mat. You'll bring your arms over your head into an easy cactus shape. Drop your knees to the left. Your right knee will reach towards the front left corner of your mat, and your psoas is going to stretch. Sending some breath there. Noticing the energy shifts here. Allowing them to be. Bring your knees back to center. Readjust your sacrum. And drop your knees to the right. Left knee is going to reach to the front right corner. And enjoy your psoas here. If you wish, you can bring your right foot atop the left knee and you'll get a little bit more of a stretch. Some of you may have room for that, may want that, and others of you may not. Letting the churn, the waters wash over you. If your foot's atop your knee, untangle it. Come back to center. Bring your hands back by your hips. Lift your hips up. Once again, your feet will be hips width and you lift up into a bridge. Release your back. Lift higher and higher. Shimmy your shoulders under you. Reach as high as you can. Notice what space you might have now. Reaching high. Untuck. Unroll. Smidge by smidge. Let it really be an unrolling like pearls on a string, vertebrae by vertebrae, until you land on the earth. And let that settling happen. Let the silt fall to the bottom of the water. Let the sparkle come back, the clarity come back. And when your body gets to that point, just ask yourself what information is there for you in this moment in time. We often force ourselves to find the answer in the churn, in the powerful energy. We find the answer in the clarity after the storm. That's when the beauty returns. Something new emerges. Bend one knee, the knee is going to come to 90 degrees, right shin parallel to the ceiling. Bring your left leg, shin, next to it. Both knees are at 90 degrees. You're going to reach your arms up to the sky and pause here for a moment. Press knees together. Lift up your shoulders, reach your fingertips to the sky and allow the humeral head to fall into the shoulder socket. Notice how that feels. Lower one arm behind you and bring it back up. And the other arm behind you and bring it back up. Extend right leg and left arm. Bring both back. Extend right arm and left leg. And bring it back and do the other side. We'll do a couple more. Focus on your center, creating energy and churn within. Move slow and choose how you're going to move forward amidst the energy shifts in the middle. Strengthening the inner, letting the inner be strong and good, keeping the inner healthy. Come back to your reverse tabletop, we call it. And you will reach one foot to the sky and the other foot to the sky. Your both hands are up still. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. And you'll lower one arm by your side and the other. Keep your feet up. Point your toes to the sky. Flex your ankles. Your toes will come to your nose. Notice your belly here. Point toes to the sky and toes towards your nose. You're flossing the nerves. It's a little bit like that tension and alchemy. Point your toes to the sky. Flex your ankles towards your nose. Press your heels to the sky. Lots of energy shifts and your belly is doing a little here. Let it feel good. Lots of energy shifting, shifting, shifting. And release, lower one foot to the floor. Bend the knee, bend the other knee, lower it down. Walk your heels towards you once again. Lift your hips up. Come into another bridge pose. Enjoy your back body here. Lifting high. Notice if your knees are going wonky to the sides and bring them in line with your hips. Shifting high, shimmy your shoulders underneath. Enjoy your back. Untuck, unroll, and allow yourself to land on the earth. Huge breath in and out. We're going to roll over onto our belly because it's fun. Coming onto your belly, come up to Sphinx pose here. Your elbows directly under your shoulders, forearms on the floor, palms on the floor, spread your fingers, let your heart shine forward. And take a moment here, plant the front of your hips into the earth, the tops of your feet into the earth, engage your glutes, your legs, heart shines forward. And notice if your shoulders are all squinchy to your ears, and let your shoulders drop a little bit. Enjoy your lower back here. Big breath in and out. Lower yourself down, create a little pillow with your hands and lie on your belly in a prone Shavasana type position and enjoy the front body on the earth. Enjoying the quiet and the stillness. Envision settling of silt, settling of energy, like the hourglass where the sand comes to the bottom and settles, or the snow globe. And for us, this is an opposite of the way we usually settle. Bringing right hand out from under your forehead, you'll reach it around, bend your right knee, grab your ankle or your foot, and enjoy a thigh stretch. Bend your elbow, let it feel good here. Big breath in and out. Soften and allow. Release your hand. Lower it down. Switch sides. Let the right hand be a pillow, and the left hand reaches for your foot. Enjoy the left thigh. Noticing the tension and the stretch, and the churn perhaps. Huge breath in and out. Lower your foot, release your hand. Bring both hands down by your sides, palms up. We're going to come into locust pose. Wiggle your fingers and your toes for a moment. Root the front of the hips into the earth. Inhale and lift up into locust. Gaze forward. Lots of energy here. Breathe. Let it feel good. And lower down. Put one ear on the floor. Gaze, we'll say gaze to the left. And let yourself release and soften in, settle in to the ground like the sparkles in a snow globe. And turn your gaze the opposite way. Release your neck. Remember to breathe. On our bellies, we don't remember to breathe so much because we're squished. Bring your forehead back to center. You can do another locust pose, or if you want to do boat pose, you can do that. You'll bend your knees and bring your hands to your feet. Inhale and lift up. Enjoy a bit of a rock here. Lots of shifts. Everything stretching and release, let go. Gaze left, right here on the earth. And we'll gaze right, well, your left ear. Do whichever one you're doing. We'll come back to center, press back to child's pose, and enjoy a stretch and a release of the shoulders, the back. Coming into that quiet stillness.
As you're here, notice the sounds. Notice perhaps the churn within. Often when you get quiet in child's pose, you hear things in your ears, noises. Where's the quiet? And we'll slowly rise up to
A seat and essentially roll back over and come to your back. And we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana here, reclining butterfly, hand on heart, hand on belly. Letting yourself settle here on the opposite side. For some of you on the East Coast, it's getting close to bedtime. Allowing the energy to shift and settle. And as it does, notice if there's any clarity. Clarity about the most important thing right now. Clarity about your next step. Clarity about what you do know, even during the times where the creek is rushing by. The world is rushing by. It's noisy, it's energy, it's wild. But inside, you do have this clarity. The sun always comes back out, the water levels fall, and you can see to the bottom again. It sparkles in the sunlight. What is that sparkle in the sunlight for you? See if your heart knows or your belly knows. Gently bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs. Bring your knees together and squeeze yourself into the tightest ball you can. Forehead comes to your knees. Have a rock, squeeze tight, everything as tight as you can. Exhale and stretch long. Come into Shavasana here. You'll stretch your feet wide and you'll let your toes fall to the outer edge of the mat. Your palms can be up to the sky. And let everything settle here, surrendering to calm, to stillness. Letting go of anything that you need to fix, solve, change. Allowing yourself to refill and replenish. Restock. If any energy or resistance comes up, thinking there's something to do, take a breath and settle back in. Allow the settling. It's in the settling and the quiet and the stillness that the clarity returns. It always returns. gently begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes. Inviting the consciousness back in. And enjoy a stretch in whatever way feels amazing to you. Let it feel delicious and delightful. As if waking up from the hibernation. And gift yourself another stretch, not just one, two. Long, deep, delicious. Enjoy it. Notice the pleasure. Let it sink in. And notice this quiet within, a settling within. Rolling over to one side, pause there. And connect with the clarity that comes in the stillness. Whatever that might be for you. What is it that matters most to you right now? What is it that you need, want, or desire most right now? What might you like your next step to be? Remembering that that is what's in your control, no matter the churn and storms and swirl and chaos and wild around. There is this stillness within. There's the clarity within when we get quiet enough to listen. Slowly make your way up to a comfortable seat. And when you arrive, bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Reconnecting with your heart space. Noticing how it feels. Noticing the calm and the stillness, and maybe the fullness, or maybe the lightness, whatever it is, remembering that you can feel like that. It's possible. You can be there. As you move forward in the week ahead, a reminder to reconnect with stillness, with quiet, with calm. Connecting with what comes after the storm. Remembering that the stillness comes back. The stillness is in there. It's always there. Letting go of the swirling waters and wilds that you cannot control. Trust that it's happening for a reason. There's something there that needs to shift and change. The turbulence is necessary. And after that, the quiet, the clarity, the softness will return. May you all have a beautiful week, finding the calm within, being adaptable, flexible, taking those pauses to let things settle. The light in me honors and reflects the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.